I was gonna lose about $500,000 in that deal because I was just lost patience.
And I may end up losing as well.
Nobody wants to lose money. Every single lesson you learn will make you a better investor on the next deal.
I got into commercial way too late. Commercial real estate, the vacancies are too low.
We can actually probably walk away with $800,000 of profit.
The possibilities are much bigger.
Wow, you're gonna retire very soon, my friend. Pain of losing is felt 10 times more.
That's really where most of the learning happens.
We screwed up on the construction. It was way over budget.
It's hard to come by, absolutely.
Never buy a property without parking.
Now all of a sudden,
We have options.
We have options.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Value Add Podcast. Unfiltered insights from real estate's most successful players. Always adding value.
Guys, I'm very excited to do a podcast with one of our partners. Hassan Nurie is our partner, is a friend. We have met, 5 years ago now. We own multiple assets together, and he's a friend and partner. I want to kind of share his journey, and I want him to give us feedback as to how and what we do as a company and how we can do better. But what I want to share here is ultimately a hero's journey from the beginning of our interaction partnership to now, and what the future looks like. So please welcome Hassan. Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hassan and I met 5 years ago at one of the masterminds. There's not a lot of African Americans in commercial real estate. That's probably 1% or maybe 2%, right? And so I naturally gravitate to my people because I realized that, and of course, growing up in Soviet Union, I was just a normal guy coming here. They're like, oh, you're brown, this and that and the other. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm brown. I didn't know that I'm different color. There was no color back home. But anyhow, I work a lot with immigrant communities, Latinos. I work with Africans. I work with Asians. I mean, anybody. We are very international over here. But specifically with Hassan, what attracted me is his very cool demeanor, his highest level of integrity and discipline. And so I don't know how we started working, but why don't you refresh our memories how our relationship started?
So essentially, I joined that mastermind that you talked about, and everybody was telling me, you need to meet this guy, you need to meet this guy. And so I met Rafik maybe in the fourth day or so, and we instantly connected, and he recognized I was Somali, which was unique because most people don't, right? And but he's familiar with...
Didn't know Somali,
Yeah. So we instantly connected, and he said, look, you should come to Minnesota. At that time, I was actually living in Florida.
Yeah, Tampa.
And...
enjoying it too.
Yeah, I was enjoying in Tampa, and so that was how we initially connected. And actually, immediately afterwards, I was visiting in Minnesota, and I just happened to call you, and you invited me to your house, and we went on a bike ride, and he started telling me his values and just opening up his world to me, and we instantly connected because we shared the values of integrity and many of the other things that you stand for, and so those were kind of our starting moments.
So you were sort of thinking about moving to Minnesota. Why did I invite you to Minnesota, by the way? Do you remember?
I think you mainly said, look, there's huge opportunities here. You work with many people from my community, and with my level of experience in this same industry, that there's just a massive opportunity. So that was your main reasoning.
That's right. So one of the very interesting things about Hassan is while I work with a lot of Somali tenants, we have... truck companies, we have various businesses. Somalian community is very entrepreneurial. Everybody's an entrepreneur. They're all hustling, doing some deals. But Hassan is a different type of Somali, and this is what I learned. He was 8 years old when he came to the United States. He was adopted by how old's your host dad?
Well, he was in his 60s.
So 60-year-old, blue collar,
white collar.
White collar. Okay, so he was a white collar American gentleman, and he basically raised Hassan as his own son.
Correct.
And I suspect a lot of values, a lot of like these Midwestern qualities you acquired from being exposed to him. So you have the combination. You got the culture down, but you also have very deep, salt of the earth qualities of a Midwestern guy.
I agree. I definitely have a unique perspective, and you don't see many people from my community in real estate.
Or recognizing the value.
Or recognizing the values, all those things, right? So I really grew up American, and so that was a unique perspective for me. And so that obviously opened up my eyes into another world.
So when I tell Hassan and many of our friends, I'm like, Hassan is a white guy in a Somali body. He's basically our own guy that basically goes hustles deals, and we got a lot of business as a result in investors. There's a lot of investors in the community. There's a lot of tenants we work with. Which deal did we start working on first?
So the first deal I actually worked on was Midtown Square.
So that was the first deal.
Yes. Actually, the moment we met, about 2 weeks later, we were working on a 100,000 square foot shopping center. It was an auction property.
Got it.
In St. Louis.
I remember that one, yeah.
Yes, and it went pretty far. It didn't work out. We almost did several other deals that didn't pan out, but then you called me on that one when I was living in Florida at the time.
So Midtown Mall is a 250,000 square foot building that was sold by a bank. It was a foreclosed property. It had 50% vacancy, if my memory serves me right. And we bought it for a redevelopment. And I brought Hassan as a managing partner.
Right.
So what do you think about that deal now?
Well, it's been an amazing deal. Yeah, it really is. A lot of moving parts. So
it's a big one. From zero to hero, from not doing a lot of deals, doing 250,000 square feet.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big assignment.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but it's been a great project and learned a lot, and a lot of good tenants that we had there. We were able to bring in a lot of new tenants, able to give opportunities to a lot of new entrepreneurs. So it's been a great first project for us to collaborate on and to really see how we work together and working with your team. So it's been kind of the start.
Every deal is down payment on the next one. And we're still working on that deal right now. We decided to sell a piece of it. We have the property comes with a Dunkin' Donuts, and we have an offer on Dunkin' Donuts, which we'll sell. And when we sell a Dunkin' Donuts, we'll be left with the property. And I think Dunkin' Donuts sale will ultimately allow us to pay off all our investors with a very, very handsome, I think they'll double their money in 2 years, which if that happens, I'll be really excited. But ultimately, the project is going, it still has ways to go.
It does, yeah.
But what other things you wanted to comment on that building?
I think that building, one of the things is it was neglected by the previous ownership. So it had a kind of a bad reputation in the community, the brokerage community, the city.
Nobody responded.
The tenants weren't really coming in there. So it was a dead mall, if you will. Yeah. And we've kind of revived it and revitalized it as a retail and business center, not as a mall anymore.
It's a business center.
And so we get great compliments from people all the time right now in that community because it's a landmark asset. It's 35,000 cars a day on a main road, and so it's really opened the door for the relationships in that city and for us to get other opportunities.
Yeah, since we purchased that property and we continued marketing our services, our company, we actually picked up 4 other properties, I think, in shopping centers mainly. And every time we told our seller that we bought this Midtown Mall and we're revitalizing it, and then they drive by it and they see how we've repainted it, that gave us an instant validation. And I think it allowed us to sort of expand our footprint in the market. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things is when we purchase properties, we always want to provide value first, right? We're not looking to just extract value, and that's what the previous owners did on this building. They just collected rents and didn't put anything back. We put in about $2 million since we bought it. We immediately started on the exterior. We did the parking lot. We repainted it, modernized it, and that really started to attract people. And so we've got over 35 businesses over the last 2 years that we brought in. Nice. And we actually lost our anchor tenant and still were able to recover from that.
Yeah.
So
that was a big hit.
So
after we bought the building, a tenant that paid the highest amount of money and contributed to almost 40% of the net operating income didn't renew on a second floor office, and it was a state of Minnesota. And it was a big blow to us, which, stuff happens. What are you going to do? What other challenges did you encounter in that property, in that project, and how did you deal with them?
Some of the challenges is dealing with kind of the changes in the community, right? So we had many tenants concerned that, hey, there's a Somali building owner now, are you going to rent to just Somali tenants?
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that these questions happen.
Those kind of questions we experience. St. Cloud is a rural community, and there's racism. There's so many of those challenges as the city continues to change. And so we assured everyone, look, we are basically an equal opportunity. Absolutely. And so we welcome everyone, and we're able to bring in many American businesses and many other diverse businesses as well. So I think that was one element of it. It was people having concern from what they're seeing. And we're operating at really high standards and bringing back the dead event center.
Yeah.
And
so there was an event center that was sort of abandoned, and it was basically used for storage of stuff. Like it was basically like a warehouse storage for the flower company. And we said, look, we want to bring back people and weddings and banquets.
It's active,
The Chamber of Commerce had a
Chamber of Commerce meets there. There's a lot of weddings. There's corporate events. There's it's an active event center for the community once again.
The other thing that we did is we reached out to the farmers market of St. Cloud, and I talked to the lady and I said, listen, we'd love to have you guys because in the winter it's cold outside and people don't want to go to a farmers market. But if you guys go and set your stuff, 40 vendors I think they have inside the mall. Hey, as long as you clean after, we are happy to bring you in there. They said that they on average bring about 1,000 visitors per weekend.
Wow.
And they were being displaced. So this is perfect timing. If we can get them in there, I think it's going to definitely have another revitalization opportunity for the mall.
I agree. I'm excited to see what we can do. Another way to serve in the community, essentially. Right?
Yeah. Now, we recently closed on a second project, which originally you lived in St. Louis.
Yes.
And we just closed down the shopping center in St. Louis with you. But tell us about your experience before we started operating, which you lived in St. Louis. What did you do? Yeah,
so I lived in Southern Illinois, just a metro of St. Louis. And so I started out with a residential real estate company, like many of us, right? Started there, fix and flip, wholesaling. Then I had a turnkey real estate investment company. Basically, we put together a package of properties and we sold it to investors who were looking for passive income.
Oh, nice.
So that was my business. And I had a property management company who had that operation, and then got into multifamily. And so and around that time, wanting to grow the multifamily portfolio is what led me to join that mastermind. And so I did some small office buildings, small commercial buildings, but really after joining that mastermind and getting exposed to you and building our relationship, that's really where I decided to go all in on commercial.
Commercial side, yeah. How many units did you have in your management's portfolio before you got into commercial estate?
So we're managing about 250 units.
All yours, or did you have?
Majority of those we sold. So we bought them, renovated them, rented them, managed them, and sold them in packages. And so we managed them for investors in California, some even in China. A lot of them were out of state. So it was an area where you could get a really good return on investment.
Yeah. So if you were obviously coming from residential real estate and now doing commercial, I always ask the question, being a residential guy myself in the past, which one do you prefer and why?
I prefer commercial, and the reason is the value creation that you can do with a lease is significantly different. I mean, I'll give you a simple example. I bought a multifamily building in 2022, a 36-unit building, and raised the rents maybe about 20% over 12 months. So we increased the value about $600,000 with those rent increases. And this was 36 tenants. That's $150 increase per tenant along those lines. The deal that we're doing, as a simple example, in Champaign, we signed a lease during due diligence for one tenant at a $60,000 NOI, that one tenant.
Yeah, versus 36 tenants.
Versus 36 tenants in 12 months. Yeah. And that's worth the same value. So actually it's worth more because of the lower cap rate. So $750,000 value creation with one commercial lease compared to $600,000 value creation
over a year with
36 tenants.
So as obviously preaching to the choir here, residential real estate is a great business. It's a good starting point. But for anyone who wants to scale and get into bigger deals, I think commercial, whether it's industrial or retail, parking, office are, in my opinion, much more profitable opportunities.
And easier to manage too,
Easier to
right?
manage
So
too,
residential, our team would get calls on holidays, right? And it's always it happens at the worst time, toilets or HVAC or whatever it may be.
So here's a question I have for you. You're from O'Fallon, Illinois. You decide to move to Tampa. What year?
2022.
So 2022, you said, forget it. I've lived all my life
Yes.
in O'Fallon. Now I'm going to Tampa because I want to live in the sun.
Yes.
You go to Tampa for how many years?
2 years.
2 years. So you live there for 2 years. You have a house, school, kids at school. Why go to Minnesota again?
Yeah, that's the crazy question. Everybody looks at me crazy every time I say
I remember
that.
you said, man, my kids want to get out of here. It's too cold.
Yeah, so really, actually we were working on a deal together, right? So I was traveling here as a managing partner. You have to run the project. And so I was here 1 week every month.
No, man.
Coming here. And so it just posed a question to my family one day because they hate to see me leave.
Yeah.
And I said, you guys want to go to Minnesota? And they're like, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
4 seasons.
We took a family vote because my kids never lived close to family, right? We've always lived on our own.
Yeah.
And so the family voted, everybody had a vote.
Nice.
And
You guys outvoted. So you basically won.
I didn't really want to move. I liked Florida. I liked my setup there. But believe it or not, the majority of the family wanted to move.
So you voted out. Got voted out.
Yes.
Yeah. No, well, I guess I benefited from you moving because now I do more deals.
And I did too. I mean, it's been great to absolutely.
How do you feel our collaboration might impact you and your future goals? Can you share with the audience what you expect out of our relationship on our value add network? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, so I think we can ultimately do more together as partners, and more importantly, with the value add network, helping many other people who are looking to get started and who want to understand this journey and how it can be done. And so we can impact a lot more people and being able to collaborate with other people, whether it's on a partnership or advice or bringing investors in. I think from all those directions together, the possibilities are much bigger.
Oh, that's great. I'm excited about it too, as we are doing more and more deals. Because what happened on the last deal we did, which I didn't expect, by the way, I usually come up with the majority of the equity, like on Midtown Mall, I think I put half of the down payment. And I always expect that to be my responsibility. But I got super surprised positively that we raised majority of the capital from the community.
That's true.
And tell us about that. How did that go?
Yeah, that was interesting. With this community being new but rapidly growing, right, and evolving and improving. And this was one of the deals that was presented. And believe it or not, people were upset.
Oh.
People were upset because a lot of people wanted to invest in this deal.
Oh, we couldn't take more money.
We couldn't take more money.
That.
Yeah. Sure. So we actually presented it one time, and less than a few days, it was accounted for.
All right, so here's what I want you to do now. Please connect with everyone who got upset about not having invested in the property and get their numbers, find out the commitments, and let's very quickly put it in the next deal. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. One of the things that is exciting nowadays is AI and the impact of AI on our businesses. But Hassan's own son is AI developer, and he's developing some kind of a real estate software too.
Yeah, actually, so he wanted to get involved, right? Naturally, wholesaling is where we start. So I said, look, see if you can wholesale some properties. And he has some challenges with analyzing properties in the comp process. Yeah. And I said, it's not that big of a deal. You just, he's like, well, I think I can do it with AI. And so he started this about a year ago. Nice. And he created a tool where you can quickly analyze residential properties using AI. And he grew it extremely fast. I mean, right now,
subscription service.
It's a subscription service. It's anywhere from $50 to about $90 a month. And they have over 700 customers nationwide.
Amazing.
So he got some venture capital funding. They saw his abilities, and
that's amazing.
What's
the valuation of the company right now? ballpark?
Well, the funding they received was at about a $2 million valuation.
How old is he now? 19?
He's 18.
18-year-old guy with $2 million company. Wow. You're going to retire very soon, my friend.
Well,
if he sells his company for billions of dollars.
Yeah, he has to, with startups, it's something that grows really fast, but it's not making money, right? They put so much more money back into it.
So let me throw something back at you, and I really want to talk to him directly because, you don't make his decisions. He's a brilliant guy. So here's the thing. Saul has invested into CRE pipeline AI agent for deal procurement, about $150,000 to $200,000 already. And he was like, man, I got what I need out of it. It's a really good system. I'm just going to use it. I'm not going to keep growing it. And I said, Saul, let's not, don't be selfish. Don't just use it for you. Let's do it as an application for people that might want to use it. And so he says, if you want to invest, I'm happy to do it. So I decided to invest and match his investment, double it. And so really grow that thing. Except I don't have time and wherewithal to be running it. Now, I know I'm a user of that platform, but I'm not a startup guy, nor do we want to necessarily take it public or make a big company out of it, even though it could become one. So here's my proposal potentially that we could talk about. I want to improve the utility and improve the functionality of that pipeline management and include capital raising module and plug in all the investors so that the AI agent communicates with investors, deals and stuff like that. I also want to plug in a leasing agent. I also want to create a maintenance agent and basically create an all-inclusive platform for commercial real estate acquisitions, management, leasing, construction, etc. Here's the idea, right?
Sure.
If I invest that money and I hire him as a project manager, I can actually give him maybe up to 20% of the shares and maybe pay him some kind of a salary if he needs money. But obviously without a salary, then he truly owner. And basically have him build this platform, open it up for our community and work out the kinks and bugs and whatever. What he gets out of it is he will basically be frontline with commercial real estate. We'll invest $300,000 right now. Number two, he will get benefits from understanding commercial real estate. Number three, he will empower all of our community members with a powerful tool that's going to analyze, underwrite, communicate with brokers, negotiate, raise capital. I mean, imagine the impact it's going to have. So I did the stats yesterday. Apparently, system has analyzed 566 deals already. And out of 566 deals, it recommended about, I think, 25 or 27 deals as a potential good deals, of which 10 offers were made between Saul and our acquisitions guy, Cole Babcock. And I was like, wow. And it's like, and the deals keep popping. I'm like, how is this happening?
It's amazing.
It's absolutely. So first of all, I want you to get a seat on that thing and really kind of get going. But definitely, I was thinking about putting Rustam on it, but he's busy with all these deals. Yeah. So anyhow, maybe it's a segue, but AI is definitely a future. How do you use AI in your commercial real estate journey?
Previous to AI, I was a fake developer, and I would try to customize some of these online solutions.
I remember you had
Podio and all those things, right? But I didn't know coding language, so that was always kind of the hindrance. But recently, with the developments of AI that's happened, has really opened up a huge door. So I've created a tool myself which helps with our acquisition process and deal underwriting and analysis. And
so you have a similar thing?
Yeah, I have something like that for my workflow. And so I have our guys who are doing cold calling are able to put everything in the system.
Nice.
And we're able to get out offers really quickly and track everything there. So that's one tool I created. Another tool, and this all for internal use.
Yeah.
I'm working on a tool right now to handle the value add process.
Beautiful.
Right? So the moment
you are doing similarly, we should join forces.
Absolutely. So the moment you get under contract, there's really nothing for managing construction, managing leasing. So those two pieces where our team can log in and all collaborate in one place. It's so easy to do that right now with AI. So that's how I'm using it. I'm using it every single day. I'm using Claude and the workflow management, but more importantly is these custom tools that we're able to utilize for our process is how I'm using it.
So what was really mind-blowing for me, he's got this, in his phone, he's got this app. He presses a button and talks to it and says, hey, give me the demographics, comps, and information about 741 Bush Lake Road, which is our property. And within like 5 seconds, it spit out everything you want to know about that property. I mean, imagine the speed. For me, if I had to do it, which we do it all the time, to get all that data and to analyze it and to kind of come up with a decision, I'll have to spend probably 2-3 hours. Go here, go there, go to the county website, because it's not a listed property, it's an off-market property. But for the AI agent to go and collect all that data, compress it, give you an analysis and a recommendation is absolutely amazing. And what Sol does right now with this system is he gets properties under contract and he basically tries to get us to buy them. But we have so many of them, I can't even close on all of them. So I started passing them out to friends in the community. Maybe you can take one if you're not. But I want you to definitely look at the platform,
Sure.
and maybe we can improve it and then offer it to our friends.
No, I think, one of the benefits of these tools, especially for a lot of the students, is, when you're first getting started, you get stuck on underwriting, right? You get stuck on analysis on one of these pieces, and technology can solve all of that. So I think you've got a great idea bringing that tool so that everybody can kind of plug into it and standardize and have a process that they can follow.
Got it. Now, you've been with Value Add Network for now over a year, ever since we started it. What recommendation do you have for a possible new mentee who wants to join?
Well, I think, first and foremost is understanding if you really want to do this, right? There's a lot of people. A lot of people like the idea, but there's work and
execution.
And so if you really want to do this, then the next thing is really investing in your education, right? And so there's not a lot of organizations out there that you can learn this business from. And so to have a network that's local, obviously it's national. You've got students from all over the nation, right? But I think being able to actually invest and get started is the next most important thing. A lot of people come and they like the idea and then they keep coming and they keep coming. But I think investing in your education is the best education you can do. So that would be step 2. And step 3, really, try to get involved with somebody else on a deal. Trying to do the first deal yourself is difficult.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, maybe
that's what we've done with Partner Up.
Absolutely, yeah. So maybe it's just investing in someone's deal, in one of the deals, or maybe, trying to figure it out on your own is difficult. Yeah. So just collaborate with someone. And that's what kind of the culture that's created here is all about collaboration and value exchange.
One of the things I'm doing with the network is I want to sort of remove the fee system. And instead of people paying annual subscriptions to be a part of it, I want them to basically invest in our fund or in our deals. And if you invest in our deals and fund, you'll basically get a free access to the community. Mm-hmm. I think ultimately, I never created this community to make fees. I wanted to get deal velocity, partnership opportunities, and activate a lot of agents in their markets to find really good deals. And I think the mission is sort of being accomplished. We're getting a really good deal velocity. But now what I want to do is instead of charging people annual subscription fees, I'll say, look, just invest in our deals. And if you're qualified, you have to be a accredited investor to invest in our deals. In other words, you have to have either $1 million of net worth outside of your primary residence, or you have to make, I think, $300,000 a year.
$200,000 a year as individual, or $300,000
as a couple. And if you qualify, then we'll be happy to work with you. And so I think that's going to put a lot of other opportunities for us to collaborate and add value to our mentees.
Yeah, and I think the unique thing is the value add aspect of it. It's not just on a real estate.
Yeah.
It's on the individual level. And so there's genuine relationships built here and people actually helping each other. And so I think that's hard to find in the real world, right? So ultimately, get involved, get active, take action.
All right. Now, you talk about all nice things, but how about this? What are the challenges and what are the things that I and my team need to do to improve the community? What are the things that may be frustrating to you?
Well, I think it's still early, right? And so there's always room for growth. So I can see drastic improvement from the first event to this next to the second event, and I think it's going to improve even more. So it's a growth mindset that you have and the community has, and so I think it's going to naturally continue to improve. As far as specific things, I don't really know off the top of my head at the moment. So I would say just making it more accessible will probably be number one, right? Getting more people in here, more diversity, and all those things.
So what we do is we have quarterly events where we get together, partners mainly, talk about our deals and exchange ideas, pitch deals, raise capital. That's what we do quarterly. And then we have weekly Zoom calls with the community where we talk about a specific topic, or I educate on some kind of a process, or raising capital, finding deals, or scaling your business. And then also I have partners call where all the partners get together, I think about 15 of us, and we talk about our deals and what's going on and the challenges and issues we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a great program, and it's definitely just getting started.
So, everybody talks about their wins and everything is great, but I know that real estate is not easy. But tell us about things that keep you up at night. Maybe tell us about a deal you're failing at or failed in the past and how you dealt with it, and what the lessons you learned.
I think that's important to talk about failures, right? It's easy to talk, but that's really where most of the learning happens, right? So there's one of the things I got into commercial way too late, and one of the reasons was I always told myself, we tell ourselves these stories, right? So when I was in residential, I told myself, commercial real estate, the vacancies are too long, right? Yeah. And so you have to sit on this vacancy for a long period of time. So that was too risky. But I learned on the other side of knowledge, you learn the reality, which is, it's a measured thing, right? It doesn't have to be that way. So one deal that I did was a commercial warehouse building, 30,000 square feet I purchased, and at a great price, off market. Yeah. So did all the right things, right? But I realized the property didn't have parking, but also all the nearby properties didn't have parking. And I met with the city, and they were very supportive of my business model and the business plan for the property. So once the tenant vacated, it was time to execute the business plan to split this warehouse into retail, into multiple spaces. Yeah. And it was a new city administration. And the new administration came in and said, hey, you don't have enough parking.
Uh-oh.
You need, I said, well, what do you expect me to do? Is it demolish half of your building to create parking?
Oh my God. It's just not practical.
Not practical. I mean, I paid for a full building. I didn't pay for half a building, right? And so, not getting it in writing, these are rookie mistakes, right? Yeah. And so parking.
The lesson is never buy a property without parking.
Unless you have, approvals, right? So in this particular situation, I had to find out the hard way. Yeah. Became an expert on zoning, and
that's good.
And what I learned is the property actually does not need parking.
And you proved it to them.
I proved it. I had to hire an attorney, and so it has an exemption because it's in a downtown district. So, but it still has the parking issue, nevertheless. So yes, do avoid properties that don't have parking unless it's a supported situation, right?
I see. I had one of those myself. I bought a 30,000 square foot warehouse building in Minneapolis with only 6 parking stalls.
Wow.
I was so excited about the numbers.
Yes.
I was so excited about the rental income and whatever. I thought that building, I bought it for $800,000. I thought the stabilized value is $3 million, and we figured we're going to spend $600,000 to $800,000 to stabilize it. So 800 plus 800, the math is really good, except we screwed up on the construction. It was way over budget. The parking was definitely a big issue. People didn't want to rent because it was unparked. I ended up losing money on that deal. And the good thing is I bought all my investors out so they don't have to struggle, because I thought I would still make it happen. But it was a good lesson. And so I don't ever buy anything without parking. because it's just not my style of properties. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is my building is like exact specs to what you just said.
Oh man, yeah.
The same numbers.
You got 6 stalls?
Well, I have 15 spaces actually.
You have?
Yeah, street side.
No, street side. I didn't count street side. That'd be probably 15 street side.
Yeah, numbers are like identical. the valuation.
So I guess everybody has to go through a 30,000 square foot underpark building to learn the freaking lesson.
And I may end up losing as well, right? Luckily, right when I was about to bring in investors, right, and actually you were going to be one of the guys going to maybe come in on that deal. That's when I met with the city, and so luckily nobody else is involved in this.
See, that's what you want to do. You want to have. I'm so lucky I didn't bring an investor, and I'm taking the loss myself. That's the kind of people I want to work with, because most people, they will, oh, we lost money, whatever. It's your problem because you put money in there, and those investors don't really last long. But I've made a lot of mistakes. So here's what I say, and I always preach it to my friends. We win some and we learn some. You only lose if you stop, continue working. Otherwise, every single lesson you learn will make you a better operator, better investor on the next deal. And so I personally don't know anybody who has never made mistakes. Mistakes is part of the process. And mistakes scare people. They don't want to make mistakes. Nobody wants to lose money. I actually told this to my daughter. She's 21 years old, and she made some good money on some deals, and then she lost money on a deal, and she was really pained by that experience. But she made 4 times more money on other deals, and I said, look, you didn't make that money that year. I think it was $200,000 something. You lost 40 grand here. Guess what? You only made 160,000. If you focus on the fact that you made 160,000, life is good.
That's true.
But if you focused on the $40,000 loss because you're expected to make 60 to 70,000 versus losing it, then you're miserable.
Absolutely.
And so you got to control your expectations. And if you have that, I have a screw up 20% for my plan. 20% of my deals will be messed up. I just want to make sure that I account for it ahead of time. Then when that happens, you're like, okay, that's the 20% that I was supposed to lose on, but I'm still ahead on the 80. And then you're good. Because one thing psychologically that I realize is that our joy of winning and making money on these deals is not equally proportional to the pain of losing.
I agree.
The pain of losing is felt
10 times.
10 times more. So when you're sitting there and you think your whole world's falling apart, although at Midtown Mall you made 3 times more money than a failing, what you're going to lose on a failing. If you focus on the failing, you feel really bad. And so I constantly remind myself of the gratitude of all the good deals.
Absolutely.
And by the way, we never talked about the Pershing deal. So here is another deal that's a very interesting one. So Hassan was great. I bought a building in Decatur, 60,000 square feet, vacant. I'm sitting in it for a year and a half. Can I get a tenant? The local person who sold me the building was so positive and excited. He thought he's going to be 10 guys, fighting for the deal. So buy the building. I sign on debt with hard money lender. They put up the money though, but it was the commission I paid them on the deal.
Got it.
So nobody put up any money
yeah.
because it was their commission. Long story short, we sit there and nothing happens. Hassan has a 1031. He's like, hey, I got some money. Do you want to, do you have anything I can put 1031 into? I'm like, I got one for you. I got this Pershing deal. We're losing money right now, but when we find a tenant, it's going to happen. I said, look, Hassan, we might lose money here and it's okay. We'll make it up on other deals. And Hassan knows Illinois and the building. We did it right. The purchase is great. I mean, the value is there, but finding a 60,000 square foot tenant is like finding a needle in a haystack.
It is.
He gets in there and we keep losing and losing and losing. And I start losing the faith. I got to pay off the $1.5 million loan. So I whisper to the guy, I'm like, just sell it for 1.5. I'll pay Hassan's money off. I'll take the bullet. I remember calling him saying, I'll just make it up on Midtown. Don't worry about it. And then the guy's like, oh, we got one tenant. Now we got a buyer. And patience is a virtue. I was going to lose about $500,000 on that deal because I was just lost patience. But now if it happens and we actually sign the lease and it works, we can actually probably walk away with $800,000 of profit. Sounds like, I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be a good profit. What's your experience with that deal?
I was excited for a couple of reasons. One, working together. Two, your local team there. They were kind of kings of that community, and they're good guys, right? So I was excited to work with them as well. So I thought it would be a great asset. And but sure enough, you know, it's a small town, and trying to find this almost impossible tenant. It takes patience, something that in our business model,
It's hard to come by.
it's hard to come by, absolutely. So yeah, I was worried that now I already had one problem and I signed up for another problem.
Like that. Oh, that's not a problem. So here's the other question I have. So we have a tenant, we have an LOI, but for some reason they didn't sign a purchase agreement. I mean, and at lease, they haven't signed a lease, but
Yes.
they're moved in already. And now we have a buyer. And if we sell it to these guys, we need to talk to these guys and buy them out at least or put them somewhere else. I think that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think you have some other spaces.
Yeah, we have a lot of space.
So now, now all of a sudden
We have options.
We have options. Right?
Yeah. Well, Hassan, thank you very much for being a guest on our podcast. I love working with you. I'm looking forward to building a deeper, more meaningful relationship with you and your son, and hopefully our collaboration will be fruitful and we'll be able to add value to each other for years to come.
Absolutely. Pleasure to working with you and getting to know you and building our relationship. And I'm definitely looking forward to growing as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And if you would like to learn more about our community or want to learn more about investing in real estate, please comment below. I'll be happy to connect, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Value Add Podcast. Unfiltered insights from real estate's most successful players. Always adding value.